Vegas lights shine bright, bad boys sitting pretty. Michael, Steve, Rob running things in Sin City. Podcast blazing truth, rhyming hard and witty. Three kings on the mic, Vegas life gets gritty. Matt Michaels dropping bombs, quick wit, no filter. Sin City's own, blending gold with the silver. Steve taking notes, every word's a thriller. Rob's on the tracks, beats cold like a chiller. Bad boys a podcast, raw truth they broadcast. Speaking facts so fast, haters coming dead last. Las Vegas legends, three amigos top class. Mic in hand, setting fire, never outclassed.
Welcome, everybody, to the Vegas Bad Boys podcast. I am Sin City Steve, and being joined, as always, by Rob Bossolari at Vegas Trump Guy. Rob, what's going on?
What's going on was we had something called the Royal Rumble this weekend.
Yes, we did.
Something.
We absolutely did. Yeah, man. We it was a really interesting start time in the morning for those of us over here on the West Coast. Show started at 11 a.m. But you know what? Fuck it. We're going to everybody thinks we're going to start with Royal Rumble coverage. We're just going to flip it on its ear.
No.
Fuck it. You know what? AEW. Yeah, there we go. AEW Dynamite.
Oh, man. Dynamite
man.
And Chris Statlander. Let's go top to bottom. Does that work?
Yeah, dude. I'm down.
Chris Statlander beat Tekla. And I would say pretty soundly.
Yes.
Tekla had a few spots. She came across not matching up as she hasn't been with the rest of the vibe of Sky Blue and the rest of their demonic team. She just seems separate from everything else, and she lost. She was out wrestled, and she was overpowered.
Absolutely, man. As you mentioned, though, in the end, Chris Statlander was victorious. So she did retain against Tekla in the main event. Elsewhere on the show, though, kind of a mixed bag of results, man. The thing that I want to mention with the FTR and Davis and Doyle match, it was a pretty solid, hard-hitting match. These guys were beating the shit out of each other. So much so that unfortunately not everyone walked away unscathed as Jake Doyle tore his bicep in the middle of the match. So the former Jake something, after having a pretty, pretty decent debut and pretty good intro run thus far with AEW, has all of the momentum taken right out from under him. Unfortunately, we've got a torn bicep. So, thoughts and prayers up to him. Hopefully he heals up. Yeah, man.
A lot of these guys, you got to remember, when you're seeing people on AEW, WWE, and they're in their 30s, they've already been banging it out for years on the independents. And I wasn't trying to go that route. They've been doing their job. And the way they described AJ Styles in another program as a journeyman, which is why he doesn't get like the same send-off as Cena, but a journeyman. And that's why these guys are already pretty beat up by the time they make to the main rosters.
Yeah, absolutely. And, obviously FTR retaining that their AEW World Tag Team Championships. Elsewhere, though, I'll tell you, dude, the Swerve Strickland and Andrade match was a fucking banger.
Yep.
Dude, since Andrade has come back to AEW, he has put his working boots on, man. That's not to say that he hasn't had him on previously. He looked great in his last Continental Classic he was in. Went to WWE, obviously had that best of 7 series with Carmelo Hayes. Looked phenomenal in there. And his in-ring is transferring back over to AEW. Puts on an absolute banger with Swerve Strickland. And wouldn't you know it, goes on to win that match, securing a match next week against Kenny Omega, live here in Las Vegas. The winner of that match, it's kind of a convoluted structure that they've got in play, but the winner of that match will go on to Grand Slam Australia and face Hangman Adam Page. the winner of that match at Grand Slam will then earn a world championship shot at AEW Revolution. So I honestly, I think everything's lining up. I don't think that they would give us Hangman versus Omega at Grand Slam Australia. I think that they have something even more in mind for that, an actual pay-per-view. But give me Andrade versus Hangman, and you know what? Give Andrade the win over Hangman. Give me MJF versus Andrade at Revolution. There you go. But yeah, man.
I've got nothing to say on that one.
I can tell, dude. But it's elsewhere on the show. Obviously, Omega beat Rocky Romero, as if anybody didn't see that coming.
It was a V-trigger party.
Exactly. Moxley also beat Ace Austin. Pretty good showing from Ace Austin. Was one of the first times he's been on Dynamite, unless I believe they actually may have said that it was his Dynamite debut. So pretty interesting stuff there. But what everybody was talking about coming out of this show was what happened after the TNT Championship match. Mark Briscoe defeats El Clone and then gets on the mic, says that he loves the thought of the TNT Championship Open Challenge match, and he's got an open date on Saturday. Who's gonna come
out? Oh, man. The bearded man. That entrance.
You got it, brother. Tommaso Ciampa is all elite. Obviously, he brought over the Psycho Killer nickname. Pretty dope song too by Mikey Ruckus. That's one thing that I have to mention with them is they're nailing theme songs right now too. But
everything, the AEW finished product, I never complain about it. What we complained about, they had a pyrotechnics problem with Moxley a few years ago, and Kenny and Kingston. I mean, all right, fine, but past that, the product looks polished.
Yeah. And realistically, you just have to wonder how much of the criticism is warranted, how much of it is because people just genuinely don't like the product. But it's yes. By the way, I'm looking in the YouTube chat right here, and I've got to mention this because this is something I didn't mention. That injury to Jake Doyle just happened. You see it happen tons of times, but it just goes to show that these guys are out there. They're putting themselves in harm's way at every single second that they're out there. But, obviously we talked about Dynamite being what it was. They followed it up with a seriously great episode of Collision. And the main event did have your TNT Championship match between Mark Briscoe and Tommaso Ciampa. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a new TNT champion, the Psycho Killer himself, Tommaso Ciampa, in his debut with AEW, wins a championship. The only other person to do so is Mercedes Moné. Interesting that both of those championships were the TBS and the TNT titles, the respective networks, but nonetheless.
Now, here's the thing. I want to jump in on this.
Yeah.
Is Ciampa a babyface?
Oh, yeah.
Because Lexi Nair gets him with his wife and his daughter in the post-interview.
Yep.
He's kissing him goodbye. I mean, for a guy who's a psycho killer to put him in the syrupy role, it's a little confusing.
Yeah. I totally get that. I think realistically, it's just to establish kind of a baseline for him. I don't think that we're going to see too much more, if anything more, out of having his family in the building. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying now that you're saying it, because obviously this guy is a psycho killer, yet he's got his wife and his daughter in the audience and, kissing him in promos and stuff. So yeah, I can see where that sends kind of a mixed message.
to do something where he has his daughter on his shoulders and she goes, "Daddy, why do you have to kill people?" Like, really go psycho, like really make it demented,
Yeah.
you know.
So true.
If you're gonna put him out there anyway, you know, I mean, -1, they freaking Brody Lee put his kid out there and made him some, like, you know, future psycho inheritor of the Dark Order. So why not? Daddy,
Yeah.
why do they have to kill the people? Daddy's gonna kill all the people, you know, whatever.
Exactly. Speaking of killing people, man, every time that Darby Allin shows his face on AEW TV, I think that the thought goes through his mind, what can I do to make it look like someone's trying to kill me every single week? Because obviously he had a solid match with Clark Connors. Some people are saying that it was actually a bit of a tryout match, if you will, because we know the way that New Japan Pro Wrestling's contracts work, and AEW has proven that they're not afraid to poach talent. And obviously, peeling the curtain back a bit, Clark Connors and Tekla kind of are a thing. So anyway, yeah, man, you have Gabe Kidd come out there after Darby makes Clark Connors tap out to the Scorpion Deathlock, and they do the stairs spot. Dude, that every time that anybody does that, yeah, I'm just waiting for it to go horribly wrong. Because
I just like how Clark Connors looks like a Timu Shawn Michaels. What the fuck am I looking at?
Bro, he absolutely does. He absolutely does. But yeah, Gabe Kidd put half of the steel steps across Darby's midsection and literally stepped on one side of it. Again, they probably have, you know, ways to make that extremely safe, but every time that they do that particular type of a spot, I just cringe, just because so many things could possibly go wrong with that.
I mean, he got suplexed the week earlier, evenly across his back to his neck to the back of his head. If he isn't paralyzed down the road in his career, he's going to have lasting injury to his spine. He's going to be, I mean, what we always said about John Moxley, how he's got like the body of a 70-year-old man. He's got muscles, but his joints and his ligaments are torn to shit.
Oh, yeah.
You can only live like that for so long.
Yeah. You only have so much mileage, only so many bumps on the old bump card. Yeah. Yeah, you're burning through them if you're Darby Allin. But I'll tell you, man, elsewhere on the show, we had the debut in AEW of the Rascals as they defeated Crew. And, you know, say whatever you will.
Xavier and Wentz, the two most popular guys that didn't get booted out for some. You went with your most core guys.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. And they looked solid against Crew. Crew looked pretty good in there as well, man. So these four guys mixed it up, had some pretty good chemistry. It was just nonstop action. It was a total spot fest. If that's your thing, great. Go back and watch it. If it's not, might want to skip out on that shit.
When you get the standing moonsault and then you get pushed into the cover,
yes.
Little spots like that. When you've got Wentz, you've got Zachary Wentz and Xavier, Desmond Xavier. Desmond Xavier and Wentz got tested in NXT.
Yeah.
When Trey Miguel went to NXT, he got injured when the three of them tried to tag up. My attitude is anyone going into the WWE system is going to be better, smarter, safer. And
I would agree with you. I would agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah. Because when you see people coming, Leon Slater went to SmackDown. He did, I think it was a frog splash, and he got injured. He was grabbing himself, and so a lot of these guys, they could go else. They could go to another promotion now and be monsters right out of the gate. Is what my point is. Crew is good. They're technically sound in the ring, but the Rascals are a tag team. Crew was kind of slapped together.
They're a cut above, man.
The Rascals have been building their brand for God. I saw them in TNA. So you have to imagine they were probably in another promotion before TNA. I don't know. You're probably more knowledgeable than me on that one. And that was years ago when I saw them with Trey Miguel on TNA. That was 5-6 years ago. And they were just sick back then. So I like Crew individually, Action Andretti and Leo Rush individually. As a tag team, they don't seem to have much chemistry to me.
Yeah.
If you take away their cornball outfits, whereas the Rascals are like a bunch of guys getting high in the treehouse. They already have a patented theme. And what's great about AEW is if they were already established, why fuck around? They're already established. WWE is going to go, oh no, we got to split them up. We got to try this. We got to try that. I'm like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
They're good as is. Just put them in with somebody. Give them an instant feud. Move on. Good on you, TK.
Absolutely. And, you know, I do have to say, man, there were some spots in that match where Crew were doing some tandem offense. That's definitely what I was thinking about when I had mentioned that they had great chemistry as well. So that, you know, there are glimmers that they can be more than just enhancement talent, which is what they've been used as. But regardless, it's only a matter of time until the Rascals are holding gold, whether it's the OGs or whether it's the trio. Because keep in mind, obviously, that trios division can be kind of dodgy. They tend to not have very many participating trios in there. But I think that
they're the only ones, really. They're the only established trio. You could argue the Riders, the Death Riders, but no, I prefer give it to these guys. Give it to the three of them. Again, where the fuck is Trey Miguel? I know it's not coming. Where the fuck is Trey Miguel? I want him. I like the other guy, but to me, it's Trey Miguel, Desmond Xavier, and Zachary Wentz. That's the Rascals.
Yeah. No, I get you, man. And unfortunately, I think that this is going to be treated like a Jay Briscoe situation, where the edict came down from WBD that Jay Briscoe would not be on AEW TV because it would be on a WBD network due to social media posts in the past. And I believe that it's going to be essentially the same type of a thing for Trey Miguel, unfortunately. But
they were going to do that to Jay Briscoe too.
They did that with Jay Briscoe.
Wow, I did not know.
They did not allow him to see AEW TV, and that was based solely off of that. That was the main reason why Tony Khan acquired Ring of Honor, was so that he could acquire the contracts of the Briscoes. He's actually made comment and said that. In addition to obviously acquiring the tape library and the footage library, but one of the main driving factors was to acquire the Briscoes contracts.
Well, if he's got Ring of Honor, then maybe he owns the rights to Kevin Steen. And we can see Kevin. I'm fucking around.
I would love to see Kevin back in a professional wrestling ring soon.
Maybe not.
Unfortunately, man, I believe that his injury is still keeping him sidelined. So so he's still going to be out for a while. So unfortunately,
production awaits.
Yes. And then obviously the Babes of Wrath defeated the Sisters of Sin in the actual main event, the match that went on last. And this was, exactly what you think it would be. Not exactly you talk about not having chemistry. These women, unfortunately, did not have chemistry. Harley and Willow do. Julia and Sky do a little bit, but when you combine all four of them, that's something they need to work on.
The Sisters of Sins thing is that they're not goth anymore. They're just very dry.
Yeah.
And the whole point was Sky Blue was supposed to be like this up and coming, like Girl Next Door. And the other one, same thing, Girl Next Door. And then you made them goth. And now you got to own it. but they
Yep.
can't just be dry. And Tekla's not dry, which is why she doesn't work in in that. What the fuck are they called? The unholy
Triangle of
trinity?
Madness.
The triangle of man. I apologize. She is dry.
Yeah.
I mean, the two of them are dry, and then Tekla is all wacky, and you saw where I was going with that. It was just
absolutely, man. And then realistically, I saw this match pop up on the lineup, and I was like, "What the absolute fuck is this? Why is this even a thing?" Kazuchika Okada successfully defended his international championship against Adam Priest, to the surprise of no one. What was a surprise to everyone is that Okada's bag was missing. So his traditional gear, his robe, and his international championship were all inside of that bag.
I wonder who did that.
It could be very interesting if they choose to play that up into a storyline, but they did cover it up by putting another championship in an AEW bag, zip it up, and they played it up on commentary like as if the crowd in Arlington, Texas didn't deserve to see Okada with his robe and with the belt. So obviously you knew some shit happened. So interesting stuff.
You know, the best is when Takeshita goes, "You forgave him?"
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Trouble in paradise.
Now, Cash, it's not like that, mate. Ah, bloody hell. Fucker. Like, all right, great. This is good now. This is good. Let's pull that trigger. But again, you got to be careful with that. Why? If you make Takeshita a baby face and he has no mic skills to be heard of in English, unless Proto Keshta. Yeah, that's if they can both break off, they both break off. Now you have a really awesome tag team. But remember now, without Jake, you could bring back the Empire.
You could do something very, very interesting for sure. Well, let's kind of, before we get into fantasy booking territory, let's completely change gears. We're going to talk about that other show, and we're going to talk about, because it's in chronological order, let's start talking about SmackDown as we segue over to WWE. And Rob, talk to me a bit about SmackDown this week. What did you think?
Well, okay. A certain luchador got his mask back, and I am super duper happy that our man in Axiom there got his mask back from the former DIYer Johnny Gargano, beat him up and regained his Mexican manhood. Or no, he's Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Close enough. Same difference. That's all Mexican elite. Then you have The Miz. Oh, look at that. The Miz. Is he gonna win against Ilya Dragunov? No.
Absolutely not.
And I'll do a quick aside. The Miz he is a Grand Slam guy. He is a good in-ring person, and he does have mic skills. The problem is he's been pigeonholed, whether directly by his own accord, where he just wants to have a lighter schedule, or because they've overlooked him. But he is good. I don't want to look back at his career and think the guy was a schmuck in the ring. He's very good.
Yeah, he absolutely is.
When they made fun of him, when Daniel Bryan was like, "Oh, you played safe in the ring," and he's like, "Yeah, that's why I haven't been hurt horribly." I'm like, he's right.
He's spot on, dude. Yeah, you can say whatever you will about his particular style, but it speaks to longevity, and it's allowed him to have the career that he's had.
And he's been in brutal matches. When they had babyface against Gunther, he took severe chops. He did some long-term work. He's had tag belts within the last couple of years. He's not bad. Yeah. I don't like him being comic relief all the time. I'd like to see him have a serious run a few
Yeah.
more, and make him and give him the Continental belt again.
What needs to happen is he does need to have the IC title one more time, and he needs to hold it. He needs to hold it for about 6 months. The reason being is because he is right up near the top, believe it or not, in combined total days with the Intercontinental Championship across all of his reigns. Some people could make the argument that Miz is a top 5 IC champion of all time.
This is what I would do. I do it one of two ways. Either one, you give him an MJF style reign where he holds onto the belt and in a very scummy way tries not to defend it. The other way you could do it is he does do that route and then he feels bad about it and goes and becomes a babyface down the road and defends and actually wins matches legit and then eventually loses it. You're like, a year and a half maybe. And then the third option is you just give him a little mini run like you're talking about, a few months. You give him a run. He defends it 3 times, 1 on a main show, couple of PLEs. But I would give him a long title reign. He deserves it and has earned it. Because I came up, I'm giving you this match not because you deserve it, but because you earned it.
Hell yeah. Most definitely, man. And let's talk for a minute about setting up the Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn match. Do you even want to let you know what? Yeah. Because I mean, realistically, that
hold on. I'll take
that whole thing ended up turning into Randy Orton, Jey Uso, Cody, and Sami Zayn versus the Vision.
Yeah.
I
missed that match.
Spinning wheels, brother. Spinning wheels.
I know what's going to happen here. The 4 of you, the Vision, even though you have My Family Tree in that branch, and it would have made more sense for My Family Tree. A Vision, they're going to go, and they're going to fight the 4 of you, and I'm going to go in the back locker room and bang out Mickie James for a few hours.
And Bionic Scoop, what's up, brother? He chimes in and says, Miz is a top 5 IC guy. Thank you. The SmackDown Talking Smack reign cemented it for me. He made it mean something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He absolutely did. And yeah, some people will discredit that opinion, but yeah, at least I got I got you on my side, so we're all good, bro.
When he did that interview with Renee and Daniel Bryan, I'm like, was that a shoot?
Oh yeah. So there are elements. There are always elements to everything, and the argument could be made that nothing sees any form of TV until it gets cleared. At least that's how it was under the old regime. But it looked pretty genuine to me. So I mean, we could be walking a fine line.
If that was not a shoot, Michael Mizanin is the greatest freaking actor, whatever, because man, and Daniel Bryan with that smug, arrogant, indignant look to him, I just think you played safe. I'm like, oh, I wanted to see Bryan Danielson get his face bashed in by the Miz when he was talking to him like that.
Wow, really?
I hated that.
Holy
he was
shit.
so smug. I'm like, yo, Mike, just fucking smash that belt in his fucking smug face right now, because he was smug in that interview. And I remembered it because he had that when somebody just goes, I mean, I'm just it's like the old term when you say respectfully, but you're not. It's like, respectfully, I mean, you play it safe, and I'm just saying, and I'm like, wow. If it's a work, hit him in the face with the belt. If it's not a work and it's a shoot, hit him in the face with the belt.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh man.
Hitting somebody in the face with the belt always makes it better. But I do want to mention one thing too. And it's not listed on this match graphic at all, but we did have another United States Open Challenge championship match as Carmelo Hayes defeated Rey Fenix. These guys are amazing in the ring. Carmelo Hayes is proving that his in-ring work is there. There's something, I can't put my finger on it, but there's just one minor thing missing with Carmelo Hayes. That's right. A microphone.
If you go out and you say, yo, man, I'm the greatest. Okay. Every wrestler says they're the greatest or the most violent. That's it. You either get to be a great wrestler, a violent wrestler, or in the case of Sami Zayn, an underdog wrestler, which is why I don't like him, because you cannot be an underdog wrestler and be with the company as long as he's been. That means there's something wrong with you. If you've been an underdog for this long, nope, you're doing, there's something wrong. But this guy is not a heel. And when they tried that route, it's just arrogance. He's not a baby face. He's just a really good technical wrestler.
Yeah.
He is, if I could give him a hybrid, he's got luchador elements to him. He's got strength to him. He is a modern day MVP.
Yes,
but
that's a great comparison. Yeah.
He's a high flying MVP, and you know what? His mic skill's similar to MVP, but MVP has swagger. Carmelo Hayes, when he gets on the mic, still looks nervous. He still looks a little shaky on the mic. He still looks like he's trying to prove something. And when they do the I'm a fighting champion bit, it doesn't leave much for the way of mics. If he just got out there in a suit and he came out and he goes, man, prove it. I'm doing all these open challenges. I'll face anyone who I feel deserves it, but I'm tired of coming out here week after week, getting my ass kicked. And anytime one of you idiots why don't you guys prove that you deserve it? Something to that effect. He should sit there and just sit on a chair, on a throne, look down at people. And I would even go as far as maybe ask the audience, do you think he's ready? I would do it like that. I don't see people do that as often. Hey, the mellow don't miss crowd or whatever he wants to call his audience. Do you think he deserves to fight me? Tap the audience and go, do you think that he's worthy to fight Carmelo Hayes? Put himself in third person. Have him speak in third person. Do something where he elevates himself to some bizarro status. And then anytime anyone questions it, you'll have, Cole or whomever, or now what is it, or Drew. Hey, let's go. Wade Barrett. I meant to say Wade Barrett. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. This belt right here says I get to talk smack. Give him a segment talking SmackDown. Something where
you wouldn't be able to call it that, but yeah, I agree, man. Something needs to be done with his character, and
he doesn't have a character.
That's what I'm saying. We need to see something more from him, because as great as he is in the ring, again, and this is the thing that everybody knocks AEW about, is great in ring, but developing a character that make people give a shit. Well, it just so happens that one of your secondary champions in WWE is in that particular situation. But
you skipped over with Collision, but what did they do? Who is the mouthpiece now for Orange Cassidy? Tony Storm.
Right.
Tony Storm and him are doing the ballroom dancing thing, which was just a spot that they had in one match against the Death Riders, and they've turned it into a mixed tag division now. And she does all the talking for him, and she is way above him in her own right. She is the face of that company still. So brilliant. He doesn't have to say much. There's a way to do it. If you have a guy who's a proto MVP and he comes out there and goes, man, I've run through half this locker room already. Come back next week. Take elements from his own musical theme.
Yeah.
Just do something.
Absolutely.
It's there. It's all there.
Yeah, man. Well, let's without any further ado, let's talk about the Royal Rumble. And This show, man, it was a 4-match show. What we'll do is we'll kind of go in a little bit of a different order. So first things first, let's actually start by talking about the men's Royal Rumble. And it was obviously headlined by Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble. You know, I really hope that blue chipper, young, hungry Roman Reigns will use this Rumble victory as a springboard to catapult him to the next level, man. I'll tell you.
He's choking in your picture, grabbing onto his gray beard. His gray
I was hoping that you would pick up on that.
Fucking beard. This old fart fuck version of himself. He had a sorry. This old fat fuck version of himself.
Thanks.
All right. Go out there with no Olafala anymore because that's over with. You beat up Jey Uso, no Jimmy Uso. You beat up I keep saying the Samoan werewolf because I can never remember Jacob Fatu's fucking name. I had to like read it 5 times because I'm terrible with names. So I'm like Jacob Fatu. Okay, Jacob Fatu. Because what purpose does he serve? Zero. He's just he's an agitator. Okay, that's what he is. He's an agitator. He comes out and he disrupts matches for no fucking purpose whatsoever, except for the fact that they have nothing to do with him. They just so Roman Reigns shit through his own family. Great, which makes him a heel. Maybe we don't know. We'll find out on Monday if he's a heel or a babyface. Really, when you get right down to it, it depends. Am I wrong on that one?
Yeah, I mean, we got to find out soon, man. We're on the road to WrestleMania officially now.
Hold on. Hold on. Usually they give he went coughing his lungs out like he's still on chemo.
Yeah, no shit. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you want to get to did you pop that one too soon or do you want?
Oh, hey, how do you mean that? So obviously, let's talk just a bit about what
the dangerous man in the turban. That man in the turban right there, that Braun Breaker is pointing to with his fist, the shaky fist, who is clearly beat him up and fed him to Obafemi. Oh no, you're talking about the guy with the mask. Oh,
yes.
The guy with the mask with the shitty, dirty blonde chin hair. Now that I'm noticing it. Could it be Logan Paul? You had said that earlier that you think it could be Logan Paul. Yep. Logan Paul was the one in the locker room on Monday. He said, we've got to put all our weight behind Braun Breaker, which is usually a dead giveaway. And now here's the thing with the Vision. This is the most cannibalistic. This is the Judgment Day on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
And if you do this, notice one thing. Nothing has changed for Mr. Tsunami.
Bronson Reed. Yeah.
Bronson Reed. Thank you. Bronson Reed.
I know how you are with names, bro.
I know. Bronson Reed. Because again, you know what it is? He doesn't stand out.
Right.
He doesn't stand out. When you stand out, I remember you. I think about you. I think about the name. I think about your gimmick. I think about your outfit. You still have a tribal thief shirt. That gimmick was a year ago. You have no new merchandise. You have nothing. Your theme song is your battle tested, but you barely wrestle. The only people you've soundly defeated were people in your own faction.
Yeah.
And you stole Roman Reigns' shoes because you have some bizarro Samoan foot fetish. So you've got Logan Paul. If it is him, great. Why would Paul Heyman want to take out his best guy? This is exhausting because it takes us further away from new storylines and puts us into the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and he beat up Jay, and he beat up his cousin. What's his name again? The Samoan, Jacob Fatu, and he's going to take these geriatric Samoans minus Jacob Fatu, and they're going to form the bloodline, and Jimmy will show back up after he's dropped 10 pounds, because that's what it's really about. They want Jimmy to come out and look like the Usos again. Jimmy cannot be coming out in a 2-mile thick wool basketball jersey and have a band of fat around him, because it's wrestling and you have to look good. So it's probably, if I were to guess, where he is dropping the pounds.
Yep.
And they will be the ones that show up as a group instead of the Vision, which looked good for a minute there. They actually looked presentable as a faction. So I don't know what their plans are, unless behind the scenes these guys hate each other. I don't know. Maybe it's something behind the scenes. It's not working. I could be wrong. I could be reading.
The thing that I was going to say is, let's be real about this too. What if it's not Logan Paul? What if you have the right last name, but it's a different first name? Are you not following?
Again, names. Coffee.
So if there's ever a time to bring in and have Jake Paul at a show, it is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You could easily have the Paul brothers in action against Braun and maybe Bronson.
All right. Now here's my thing with this. Doing this did not make Braun Breaker look bad. You didn't take anything off him. But you make Paul Heyman look weak, because Paul Heyman was already swerved when Seth Rollins got his ass kicked by Braun Breaker, even though they telegraphed it, as the old term goes. They sent the email 3 hours earlier. Look, he's kind of getting pissed. Yeah, man, do the face. Yeah, do the whole night, because Braun Breaker that whole evening when they're doing interviews was staring at the floor and twitchy. So I'm like, all right, why is he twitchy in the interview? All right, so they pulled the trigger, fucked over Seth Rollins. They got nothing for it. They made a faction. The faction looks pretty vicious. They took over kind of Raw, and now you dismantled them and you knock them down a few pegs. And Paul Heyman is going to Adam Pearce at a pre-interview, where they're doing their pre-show, and going, how dare you make him number 2? Because that's even worse than number 1. He's got a disadvantage. Why did you do that to Braun Breaker? Now Paul Heyman is coming at these people from a position of weakness. So where do you go from here if Paul Heyman is not the all-knowing oracle? That's the other thing that we're not discussing.
Yeah.
The other two factions, what happened? You had people controlling Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar later on shows up. I don't know if you were going to comes it down the ring with Paul Heyman. So that's another thing. There's so many different ways you could play this now. I think they need to go to an area where Paul Heyman's almost worthless for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe question his abilities.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and there definitely needs to be some sort of character development for Heyman at this point also. The thing that I did want to kind of encapsulate with this is, obviously this happened very, very, very early into the Rumble. So, there was
very early. This was the beginning of the fucking Rumble. Sorry.
There was some footage that was leaked showing that Braun was actually number 1. And clearly somebody lost their job with that. But to keep everything in line, they made the shift so that Obafemi was actually the number one entrant. And obviously things got started, and Braun Breaker, albeit entering at number 2, did not have a very long night, to say the very least. Or maybe he did have a long night, as it were.
Oh man.
Dude, the memes are great. Shout outs to WrestleMania for some of the funniest shit that I've seen coming out of the show. And then also, in this match, they did the thing, boys. They did the thing. So standing there pointing at each other, doing the Spider-Man meme, you gotta love it. So, and obviously, as you had mentioned, Brock Lesnar made his appearance known. And due to NDA constraints, I'm not able to post any screenshots of Brock Lesnar. So instead, we'll just show Roman Reigns again, because why not? And so also of note in this event, there was the debut of the former Powerhouse Hobbs, who, as we discussed, he adopted the ring name of Royce Keys. Now, this is going to be one of those instances. This is going to be one of those instances where I will take a step back and actually, after reading the significance of the name, that, you know, with the knowledge behind that, I fucked up. I won't talk shit about the name. In case you're not able to see the tweet on screen, Sean Ross Sapp tweets out, the name Royce Keys is a sentimental one for the former Powerhouse Hobbs. Royce is the name of his youngest son. Keys is the maiden name of his late mother. So, yeah. It's
all right.
Yeah.
Still bored. Yeah, I get it. It was like when Mr. Perfect's son called himself Axel. And it was like, yeah, I'm Axel because, you know, like my uncle's name was that. And I'm like,
you're talking about Joe Hennig. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I went
Curtis Axel.
And I went, that's a crappy name. And I get Royce's son, but it's got to match. When you think of Royce, I think of a white guy. I think of a little reedy, pencil neck white guy. You know, I just don't think of like, oh my God, Powerhouse Hobbs. That name had rings. Say it again, Mariah May. A name that is, oh my God, it just flows. Royce Keys doesn't flow. It's just not a good combination. Yeah. But whatever. Whatever. Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, here's to hoping that the former Powerhouse Hobbs, Royce Keys, has a good career in WWE. I think that he will have the platform to adequately showcase what he can do in WWE as opposed to in AEW. It's just designed better for him there. Let's turn the page just a little bit and let's talk about let's talk about this Drew McIntyre title defense over Sami Zayn. Now, all of the elements were there for Drew to lose this championship to Sami. Obviously, he came out in his red, white, black, and green attire. And, you know, you got to figure if they're going to belt him up anywhere, this would have been probably one of the locations. But they chose to not do it. And instead, they had Drew McIntyre retain his championship over Sami Zayn. I know that was one hell of a surprise for you, Rob.
My thing was this. He came out and he started speaking Arabic and he goes, I could go all night he did this on SmackDown, speaking Arabic to you guys. But, and I was annoyed by that. It's very smug. You're only putting him out there now. It's just a foregone conclusion that he's there just to prance for the audience and sing to them for a minute. He's not a real contender. He was never a real contender. They wanted to have somebody that could, you know, just, you know, reach across the aisle for a second. If I am a Saudi, I'm upset because you're insulting my intelligence that you only put him out there to appease me for a minute and then get squashed anyway. Now, I'm sure that the people who paid for him definitely said, you're making this happen. You're putting our boy out there. The guys at the top who are pulling the levers there and built in a fucking stadium out of, like, you know, pipettes in 3 weeks.
Out of fucking Legos.
Yeah, it looks like a bunch of a high school fucking, like, bleachers all like soldered together. Oh my God, what a shitty arena that was. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about the arena.
And he had a lot of spots where he was setting up for the Aluva kick. He was telegraphing those spots and dragging it out, and they had to pan away from him because he got claymored because I mean, he was just taking too long to set up his spots. And at the end, the camera just pans away from him, and then he's on his back. Like what we're seeing in that picture, if you're watching the video that we're putting out here on StreamYard through, on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm on Instagram, Vegas Trump Guy, you can see the stream for the Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting, by the way, the greatest wrestling sports talk show ever. He's on his back. A few minutes earlier, he's about to do a haluva kick because he thinks he's got Drew on the ropes. He never does. No. He gets his Blue Thunder bombs out early on in the match, flips them around like the pizza. Drew, pretty much, as I recall, no-sells it. I mean, there's nothing you could do.
Yeah.
This was not an even match.
No.
And do I like that Drew completely destroyed the shit out of him? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want Drew to be a heel fighting champion, and he is a heel fighting champion. And don't forget, he baseball slid into Cody Rhodes at Royal Rumble to make sure that Cody Rhodes got eliminated. He eliminated Cody Rhodes. This guy is the greatest heel WWE's had to date.
Well, I think somebody after what happened elsewhere on the show might be able to lay a claim to that. As we did see the end of AJ Styles' WWE career as he passes out instead of tapping out to the sleeper from Gunther. So, yeah, the rear naked choke, he locked it in, and AJ fought until he couldn't fight any longer. And then, after the match, we do see AJ celebrating in the ring, but it is interesting. He goes to take off his gloves, but then puts them right back on, goes up to the corner, and gives the too sweet. Pretty interesting right there.
Now, normally wrestlers take off their boots. He has sneakers and kick pads, so he doesn't dismantle his whole gear. He takes off the gloves, and he wore the gloves the entire match, so this would be the thing that he would leave in the ring. Nobody is waiting to surround the ring to celebrate him.
Right.
Nobody's hugging it out. Nobody slaps a belt over him. Nobody's cheering AJ Styles. He just toots sweets, which is a Bullet Club thing for his purposes, and he leaves.
Yep.
And he's trademarking the Phenomenal One and the Phenomenal AJ Styles. So he owns his name. He owns his gimmick. WWE, they were arguing, well, the WWE didn't put him over when he went out because he wasn't made by WWE. He was a journeyman, and he's been on every major promotion. TNA, New Japan. He's been on everything. Yep, the Phenomenal AJ Styles pending.
Yep.
He is going to go to AEW. He is going to come back, and he's going to make the Bullet Club. They're going to have the Bang Bang Gang. He is going to show up with Switchblade Jay White. If they're smart, he's going to have Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks in the ring, and he will get from MLW, and I'm being serious, the Good Brothers from MLW, and make a monster faction, Bullet Club Elite, and use them to fight off the Don Callis family and the Death Riders. Because the Death Riders are still technically heels.
Look at you fantasy booking this shit.
It is, if you don't fucking do this, TK, I'm going to find your fucking dealer and kick his ass. I ain't going to hurt you. I'm going to cut off your supply, man.
Exactly. Hit him where it counts.
You better fucking make the fucking, none of this bang, bang, gay shit, okay? All right? No. You put on some fucking big boy pants, and you buy the rights to what. Remember, Matt was the one who said this. Didn't Matt say the only reason he made AEW is because he saw how popular the Bullet Club was in New Japan Pro Wrestling? Now you have the opportunity to fucking buy it. You can buy it. You can get AJ Styles. He could give you, like Bryan Danielson, he could give you a couple of years and transition and build up a faction on his back, and then you can paper bag him, or he could just leave. He could do broadcasting. He could be on the mic. There's so much you could do with him.
Yeah, absolutely agreed, man. He's so versatile, even at the age of 48. It's insane. But yeah, it remains to be seen where they go from here. But I'm down for it. I just want to see what kind of a path that we choose to go with. Although I can safely say this, what makes the most sense and what AEW has historical precedence on is using Revolution as a show to debut legends, big names.
When's
that's where they had
Revolution
Sting
coming out?
show up, and that's where they had Sting retire.
When is that?
That is March 15th at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California.
March, that's 2.5 months away.
Yep.
But now wait, did AJ Styles, his contract just expired, right?
Correct.
So he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But realistically, if you look at AEW's calendar, the only other thing that would make sense is for him to show up at Grand Slam Australia, which is not a pay-per-view. So if they choose to have AJ Styles show up on an episode of Dynamite and sign his contract, then it'll happen at Grand Slam in 2 weeks. So very interesting stuff there.
Here's my thing. Who's going to receive him? Because if my theory is correct, you would have to have Austin Gunn, Billy Gunn, Juice Robinson if he's not really hurt that bad. And Ace Austin.
Yeah.
Those are the surviving members of the Gun Club, and we would like
the
to
Bullet
see.
Club.
Well, I said the Gun Club of the Bang Bang Gang more specifically right now. That's the Bang Bang Gang members.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question, and this pertains to it. How many of those guys? We can't talk about the Guns because they didn't.
Right.
And Ace Austin didn't, but was he ever with Juice Robinson at the same time while there was the Bullet Club?
No, I believe so. I believe Juice was in NXT doing his gimmick there, his hippie gimmick at the time. Yeah. So unless my timelines are off, which if they are, please let us know down in the chat. Again, thank you for hanging out with us. We're live right now on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube, and live on Rob's Instagram at Vegas Trump Guy. So all of those locations, we are currently live.
And man alive, we had a lot of people visit. We had, oh my God, Angel Baby, Tylee, Texas, Distinct Puerto Rican, Jackie 26, Mr. Devils. We had a lot of people. If you want to, we had a lot of people pop in and say hi. That's and awesome. Who is dumb enough to call me in the middle of the show? I apologize, guy.
I will, we'll go ahead and we'll just do that. And because I know that you guys don't want to look at my dumb ass, we'll just barrel on through, if you will. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue talking about the Royal Rumble. And more specifically, let's talk about the match that started it all off. And that is obviously the Women's Royal Rumble, which of course was won by Liv Morgan, finally, after being a runner-up in 2 Women's Royal Rumbles. She finally wins her own Royal Rumble this year in Riyadh. So that's awesome. You got to love it. Big props to her for, obviously, she was sidelined for a long time due to injury and, a lot of other things going on. So bringing her back, giving her this big win, you got to love it, man. Also, of course, we had the Power Rangers well represented, if you will. So yeah, the women's bodysuits in the Saudi Arabia shows are always a topic of conversation because here you see it. You've got all of the colors of the different Rangers represented, if you will, exactly like we joked about and said that it was going to be right here on the Vegas Bad Boys podcast. Also, we've got a few other things, specifically. Shout out to Stephanie Vicaire, because even in the fog of war, you can still see a tank. Yeah. You got again. I don't know how this gear is in any way, shape, or form less of a temptation for these Saudi Arabians, if you will. But and I think that we'll go ahead and we'll also talk about we had some very interesting stuff, some match highlights going on. And oh wait, actually, I guess the talk of the scissoring right here, the talk of the scissoring. Let's actually go in here. We are going to we're being joined by a special guest.
I heard hot scissoring action. What is this? What is this right now? I heard hot scissoring action, and I loved the WWE Riyadh Ladies Lesbian Rumble. Put that beautiful picture up again. Look at that. Look at that. He was joking on a dick.
Is that what you wanted, Mr. President?
No, I don't want to see that old washed-up Samoan choking on a dick again. We get to see that in April when he comes to Vegas and stinks up the fucking Allegiant. Oh, look at that. Lash Legend, and look at that. Her meaty black lips destroying the delicate yellow flower that is Io Sky. Look at that. They put her in all yellow, okay? They say, I'm racist, Jesus. and you have this big black woman. Look at that. She looks like Nicki Minaj on steroids. We love you, Nicki. And she's scissoring the shit out of Io Sky. Look at it. She's breaking her in half. It's like a circular saw going through her delicate Japanese origami flowers. Oh my God. Look at that. Look at that. Go, go, power Black Ranger. Good God. The Yellow Ranger got killed twice. Wow.
Oh shit.
Wow. Look at her. Look at that.
Mr. President, if you would, maybe some feedback on Stephanie Vicaire's ring attire.
First of all, Stephanie Vicaire. She's here. I want to give her the golden visa, and then she could sit on my face, okay? Because, my God, that is just spectacular, tremendous. Look at that. Look at that. She gets the platinum pass right between her legs. Unbelievable. It was spectacular, okay? There's a wonderful place in Las Vegas to get food. It's called Great Buns, and she's got them. Okay, good God. The top stock and the bottom stock. Look at that. Look at that rack. That is a spectacular rack, a tremendous rack. That's a rack like never before seen. Believe me. Believe me. Okay? They call it La Primavera for a reason. Scissor. Oh, look at that. Beautiful scissoring action. Okay? They told me there was a movie this weekend called Melania. I didn't watch it. I was busy watching these two beautiful women scissor. And look at that. Okay. She's just riding Lash Legend's leg. Okay. They call that humping. Okay. It's the Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump. Oh my God, that's tremendous. That's spectacular. That I gave that 2 thumbs up and 3 dicks up. Believe me. Oh,
Mr. President.
Doing the Humpty Hump, okay? Do the Humpty Hump, doing the Lash Legend Io Sky Humpty Hump. The Humpty Hump.
Absolutely, man. And well, really quick, what we're going to do is we are going to just talk really quickly about yeah, fuck it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll just pick up where we kind of left off, and let's just do
Where we
this.
left off,
Actually.
I just started the show. What are you talking about? This guy, you get the bald guy, get the bald liberal guy back on.
You know what? I would like nothing better. Speaking of which, shout out to Matt Michaels. Hopefully everything is going well for your brother, and we'd love to see you back on the show as soon as possible. So
He's up right now, getting body sculpted, looking like an Adonis. Okay, well, I don't know if he's going to get any ass because he's a lamestream lefty, but at least he'll look good. So good luck to you, Mr. Matt Michaels. That's your stage name, but we like it. It's a good one. It's better than Royce Keys. They named him after his mama. But okay, continue on with this. The show's a lot better. Fuck this Rob guy. Let's continue.
Right. Yeah, sounds good. You know what, Mr. President? Thanks for hanging out with us while you're here. Let's take it down. There it is. There it is. Yeah. All right. So, as many people noticed, there was no Chris Jericho at the Royal Rumble, and
there were no Canadians at the Royal Rumble.
There were no Canadians, according to 47 himself, our president, Mr. Donald
Trump. Not in the Royal Rumble, where you had that Sami Zayn, and he's not even Canadian.
What is he again?
Isn't he from Syria? I think he's from Syria. Syria later.
Exactly.
Your career sucks.
And so despite there being no Chris Jericho at the Rumble, do not fall for people acting like as if they are, trying to steal your money on social media. Let this be a little bit of a reminder. Yeah. So clearly someone trying to steal money and acting like Chris Jericho. So interesting stuff there. Also, Finn Balor seeing Mr. Iguana entering the Royal Rumble. One of the major plot points heading into the Rumble was that there was no room for, of all people, a former Universal Champion, Finn Balor. And evidently there was room for Mr. Iguana, La Parka, Grande Americano, too. So
and no Dominic Mysterio. No Mysterio.
There was no Dominic Mysterio. He is, I believe, Mr. President, he's actually nursing an injury right now.
Well, then why the fuck is he the IC champion?
I wish I could give you an answer on that. But it just goes to show you that in 2024 at WrestleMania, it was a new era. In 2025 at Saturday Night's Main Event, it was the beginning of a brand new era. And in 2026 at the Royal Rumble, it was the start of a new era. So we're doing a new era every year, it seems like, with WWE. So interesting stuff there. And, Mr. President, talk to me about this arena. What's the first thing that you see when you look at this picture?
I'm watching this thing, and these people, they put an arena up in 3 weeks. And normally I would appreciate that. They did a tremendous job in such a rushed amount of time putting up an arena. And then I look at it, and it's fucking empty.
Yeah.
How are you going to make an arena and you put a light? They put lights over the top of each of the people in the arena, and now it looks like it's empty. And you're looking into the crowd. You've got these photos, these freeze frames, and I like looking at her ass, but I also like being able to see people in the seats. It looked like the seats were empty. Okay, it looked like an empty arena. Terrible job. Terrible job.
LEDs were a bad choice on the seats. And this X poster says they can't have another Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. I've never seen a Royal Rumble with so many empty seats. And that was the uniform thought among a lot of the wrestling fans. And what I find interesting was that going into the Rumble, of all people, Roman Reigns showed up on the Pat McAfee show on Friday of this past week, talking about how creative is stuck in a malaise of about 2 years. So being extremely critical of the creative that's being put out there for the masses. And then, wouldn't you know it, Roman Reigns, of all people, wins the fucking Royal Rumble. Interesting stuff there. It's crazy. It's crazy how that stuff goes. You complain about something, and then next thing you know, you're winning the fucking Rumble.
And then he's going to be on the 2K cover for the next 3 fucking years again.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Speaking of which, this past week, there were 4 generations of 2K26 game announced. So obviously you've got your standard edition, you've got your Monday Night Wars edition, you've got the King of Kings edition. So they're putting forth so many different types of game, and you're trying to do too much. Have a standard version of the game, have a deluxe version of the game. Leave it at that.
First of all, I want to blame somebody for this. Mr. Khan, Nick Khan, you piece of crap, you're getting deported. If you're going to do a King of Kings version, the only King of Kings is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We love Jesus. We love Jesus big time. Bigly. On the Jesus, okay? Nobody loves Jesus more than me, okay? I say this all the time. Wow, I really like that Jesus guy. He was a pretty good guy. And then the other King of Kings is the King of the United States, Donald Trump. Why don't you have him there? You're talking about one of the greatest WWE Hall of Famers. People don't remember. They don't talk about this much. I'm a WWE Grand Slam Hall of Famer, okay? Nobody ever talks about that. I was a leader of D-Generation X. I was a leader of the NWO, okay? I was in the Rock and Roll Express, Nobody talks about this. They don't want to talk about that I was in the Rock and Roll Express, okay? All right? I'm the one who kicked Marty Jannetty through a plate glass window. They never talk about that, okay? I even have my own hoe train. We never talk about that. Donald Trump's hoe train. We never talk about that.
We never do. And something that never gets talked about, or at least not enough, is this gentleman who is now taking bookings elsewhere. Steve Maclin is no longer with TNA after leaving the company following the Feast or Fired match this past week. So let's hope that Steve Maclin latches on. Maybe he goes to AEW. Maybe he goes to WWE and NXT. Or, where I think he would be an amazing fit, maybe he goes to New Japan. I can see him doing a lot of really good stuff inside of a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring.
Well, they just logged Jake something. AEW just logged Jake something. Have him fill that role.
Okay.
And replace, Jake Doyle.
Jake Doyle. Yes.
Jake Doyle. Put him on the Doug Callis family, give him his 15 minutes of fame, and then throw him in NXT to be forgotten.
Yep, exactly. That's what's going to happen. And, speaking of absolute truths and things that are going to happen, and, Obafemi seems to be inevitable to rising to the top of the card in WWE. And this tweet made me spit out my drink when I read it the first time. You got to be a bad motherfucker to show up to a 30-man fight with a necklace made of Dunkin' Donuts munchkins. Holy shit.
Those look like cinnamon. Those look like cinnamon and brown sugar. I think that's what they are. He's very smart. He's very smart because protein is important. They say this RFK, Robert Kennedy, says that you have to have protein. And that necklace of donuts he was wearing was 24 grams of protein. And a lot of carbohydrates. You got to have a lot of carbohydrates before you go into what would be what they call an Iron Man match. So that was very smart. He's a very intelligent wrestler. And we're giving him the golden visa. You're getting your own golden visa. But we got to change the name. I don't like the name Obafema. Obafema is a terrible name.
Obafema. You heard it here first. Yeah, man, those Dunkin' Donuts munchkins are pretty amazing. But Mr. President, I have to get your feedback on a couple of things that happened this week, because you were indirectly mentioned. No, let me rephrase that. You were directly mentioned, and you'll see where I'm going with this. But the daughter of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and the former commissioner of NXT, general manager of NXT, I should say, posted this to her Instagram account. This past Tuesday was my last appearance on NXT and subsequently WWE. Thank you to all who have cheered, watched, and supported me through my journey. While my decision to not renew my contract was very difficult, it's also a new turning point in my life. It has been an honor and a privilege to be Ava. And well, what maybe perpetuated this, Mr. President, I think you'll find this very interesting. These are her words, not mine. I am ensuring that I say that specifically. These are the words of Ava. And now that I can say this with my full chest, fuck ICE and that entire administration. Mr. Trump,
you know,
I yield
this
the
is
floor.
so sad because she posted that on her Twitter account, Ava at Ava WWE. So she's still representing the WWE while she maligns one of the greatest security forces that's keeping America safe again. It's so interesting that they try to be brave, and she's still using her WWE platform to spout out her bullshit, you know? Get her out of here. You know, she's the daughter of The Rock, but she's not The Rock, okay? She's not even a pebble, okay? She's nothing. She is a grain of sand, and she's a nobody, and ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Ava will be all that's ever remembered of you, okay? Because 10 years from now, when you're sitting in a Motel 6 with your girlfriend, waxing your mustache, no one is going to give two flying fucks about you, and no one's putting you in a movie either, okay? Think about it. No movies for you, okay? There's not going to be any movies for you, Ava, except some grainy movies that you take with your iPhone 6, because that's all you're going to be able to fucking afford once we're done with you. How dare you, after everything that WWE has done for you, and then have the gall. Look at these people. They put out this post. They put this post out there, and she still does it under a WWE account. What do you put it under your real name? What is her real name? Serenity Johnson, Selena Johnson, Serena Gomez. Nobody even knows what your real name is. Because if you were to go out there right now with your own personal Twitter account, you would have 10 likes, okay? Please, forget about it. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Okay, so sad. You know, it's really sad who the WWE hires now that Vincent Kennedy McMahon is gone. They've had some really bad people in there, okay? Yeah, let's see how brave you would be in Saudi Arabia, okay? In Riyadh, they wouldn't let you say that, okay? You think they're going to let King Abdullah going to let you say that? No, okay? Her head would be on the floor, okay? It would be the quickest 10 pounds you ever dropped. Believe me.
All right. And Mr. President, after getting you all worked up on, on that little tangent, let's kind of calm things down. Let's look at some finer things in the world of professional wrestling, shall we?
Okay.
All right. So up first, we've got Maxine Dupree.
I like her Dupree's.
Yes. Who doesn't, man? Who doesn't? And then also someone who volunteered to be the new GM of NXT, Chelsea Green.
Oh, my God. She gets her green card right now.
Absolutely, man.
Oh, my God.
Can't forget about Alexa Bliss either. She's
Pure bliss. We call that bite size. I like it.
And then I know that one of our hosts has a thing for Jade Cargill. What's your thought about Jade Cargill, Mr. President?
The blacks love me, especially that black. Believe me. Believe me.
All right. And then we're even representing Ireland. We got some Lyra Valkyria representation. See, she's not all bird.
Oh my God, I want to get between those wings. Excuse me, I meant those thighs.
And then we got Layla Gray from AEW and from FSW here in Vegas.
Oh my God, future sexy wrestlers. That's what they should call FSW.
Absolutely.
So good. So good.
And last but most certainly not least, here's an action shot from Collision this week. Sky Blue showing off her best assets right there on Saturday.
It's going to be a man, sky. Look at that sky. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's a beautiful day. Look at that.
Absolutely, man.
And she's a white girl. You know, not bad for a white girl. That's pretty good.
Yeah, not too
She's
bad
got
at
a
all,
little
man.
Puerto Rican onion ass on her. Maybe we should look into that one. I don't know. Maybe we should look into that one. That's a lot of arroz con pollo for an ass like that. Believe me.
So, Mr. President, let's go ahead and just talk to the good people. Tell them where they can follow you on social media. Where can they get a cameo? Where can they see you live doing your thing?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. You did a pretty good job. We like people who work well. And look at that. I'm going to be on a show. Isn't that something? I'm going to be on a show this Wednesday, 1227 South Main Street, Las Vegas, in the Arts District. And it's called the Vintage Comedy Showcase. It's a comedy showcase featuring myself, Khalil Mack, and Mike Stiggs. In fact, you can find me at Vegas Trump Guy on Instagram, Vegas Trump Guy, and Comic Blast, Khalil Mack, Mike Stiggs on Instagram. Look him up. Randall Crab B. Thompson, Slam Dunk Jesus on IG, and Adam Dominguez headlining at I think we're even going to get a special guest visit from Lawrence Napoleon. Look at that. He didn't even make it on the flyer, but a drop in from a guy named Lawrence Napoleon. I hear he might be one of the LGBTQDEI people. We let one get on the show, and she didn't make it, but there's the poster. We added her. When you go to my page, you'll see her beautiful body. Stella will be bringing us up on stage. Let's not forget Stella, gorgeous, beautiful woman. Stella from she models all over the city. They tell me she's a spectacular model. Good, close friend of Mr. Mike Stiggs, one of his many girlfriends who he will be telling stories about. He's got beautiful, beautiful women. Billions and billions of women does Mike Stiggs have. Believe me. Almost as many as me.
Almost
as many as me. But you know what you got to do? You got to make sure they sign the NDA. You know what that stands for, right?
Non-disclosure agreement.
I thought you were smarter than that.
Tell me, what is it, Mr. Trump?
Not Donald's account.
Absolutely.
NDA, not Donald's account. Believe me, okay? I've you know what? I've got hoes. You've got hoes in different area codes, so you maybe not, but I do. And I've got hoes on different islands. Islands, not one island, okay? Not the one island that I've been so wrongly accused of, but good islands, beautiful islands. Islands where the girls come with their driver's license and they're old enough to rent cars.
Absolutely.
Which in certain islands is the age of... Never mind.
Never mind. Anyway, thank you to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. We appreciate each and every one of you. Also, a very special thank you to all the brave men and women serving this country, whether you're doing it on lands, foreign or domestic. Thank you for doing what you do so that we can do what we love to do. And last but not least, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all your pre-workout, weight loss, and general energy needs. Again, repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout. Save yourself 10%.
And you can see me tonight at Charleston and Jones at the Neighborhood Bar. We're going to be roasting comedian Jay Monet, and I may even drop in a backstop in Boulder City around 10 o'clock on Monday night. But really important, true Patriots, go to Main Street. Go to Vegas Trump Guy right there. Look at a Vegas Trump Guy and get, this is the best. The tickets are free. It's $0 tickets. Come be a supporter. If you're an athletic supporter, you'll get a hug and a kiss and a get out of jail free card from your president, Donald Trump. Believe it.
Perfect. All right, Mr. President, thank you for joining us tonight. And yeah, you know, Dave Meltzer said it best.
They held back on a lot of what they could do.
Did any of you have a great time tonight? Yeah.
With that, everybody, thank you for hanging out. We'll do it all again next week. Till then, happy wrestling.
Rolling up the strip under neon lights. Podcast mic is glowing in the desert nights. Matt Michaels leading with the swagger tight. Sin City Steve right by your side. Alright. Rob Butcher Larry dropping truths, no fear. Broadcasting stories, make it loud and clear. From the Fremont edges to the Bellagio sphere. These bad boys rule, let me make that clear. Vegas bad boys tearing up the scene.
To Matt Michaels and the Vegas Boys of Podcasting, this is John Cena saying thank you so much